Hello everybody, welcome to the third episode of Amos and Burgess Travel Company. I'm Burgess.
And I'm Amos.
And today we're going to be looking at this general area. Now, the Coral Sea, it's an interesting place. It used to be full of coral reef, but the U.S. went at war with coral. Let me explain. Corporal Coral, he was a king. He lived on Alice Chesterfield, son of Dan Chesterfield. Now, Corporal Coral, kind of a tongue twister there, Corporal Coral, can't say it 3 times fast. Anyway, we filled it with oil. We did. We flew the space shuttle, and that's why the space program has not been doing much, because we pretty much wasted all our space shuttles dumping into the Coral Sea billions of gallons of oil, and that's also why gas is costing so much these days.
No coincidence.
Tell us the myth about the ship that sank in 1912. What was its name again? Everyone forgets.
Titanic. It was in this general area. The Titanic sank. The oil is still seeping out. And it is going in this exact pattern. It's coming over here.
Wow.
Whipping back. The current gets a little bit stronger here.
It does. I've been there.
And then, myth has it that it goes around here. Through Australia, around New Zealand, and ends up in the Coral Sea.
Now, used to be a popular snorkeling destination. No one goes there anymore because there's just no more coral, and we like to keep it that way. But now that we're talking about this general area, let's talk about Tasmania, and apparently the devil lives there, but tell us.
Just one devil, the Tasmanian devil. His name is Sam, and he lives on the island. King
Island.
King Island, yes. And
it's a little island. Everyone thinks he lives on Tasmania, but actually it's King Island.
And that's actually where all the hurricanes and tornadoes form. Right in here, when the Tasmanian devil starts spinning. He really can't stop himself. The momentum and the air above him starts rotating. And until he gets tired, the hurricane just keeps going. And tornadoes are made from the babies. Right when they pop out, they're like,
see,
that's how they go.
Modern scientific technology still isn't advanced enough to record these hypersonic speeds that it's spinning at, so we just don't even try anymore.
Some people think that if you look into the eye of the hurricane, you can see the Tasmanian devil.
Wow.
I know.
That's scary to think about. But let me tell you a story. There was a man coming from Australia. He was a tourist. He wanted to visit Tasmania. There's 2 charter boats. One comes from Island Charters, you know, out over here, and another one comes from Jetstream Charters. Now, anyway, if you take Jetstream Charters, you're going to have to refuel on King Island. Not a good idea.
Not at all.
Let me explain. When you refuel there, you run the slight possibility of running into Tasmanian Devil. And one man, the one man I'm talking about, he ran into him. And the Tasmanian Devil decided he wanted to tango. Literally. He grabbed him. Here, let's demonstrate.
Okay.
Grabbed him like tango style. And spun. Hypersonically.
But they didn't stop.
Shredded to pieces. Very sad. I just visited the gravesite yesterday. But gave him some Looney Tunes DVDs and, you know, just in the memory.
Ironically, the grave got ripped up by a tornado a few weeks after your visit there.
Wow. Everybody, it is my grand pleasure to introduce you to a friend of mine who's from Cleveland, Ohio. He is the best baker, arguably in the world, but for sure in the United States and North America. His name, Darius Clausen.
Oh,
Darius, it's
hey.
Glad to see you again.
Great to see you too.
So, tell us about
Actually,
places.
before that, very important thing to remember when traveling, passport. People can get very anal about it, especially in this region, in Kampuchea. I was there not too long ago. Very anal about it, so don't forget it. And you actually remind me kind of the man who arrested me. But
Really?
besides that, I'm actually here to talk about Laos. I was there recently for a reason. You know, it's a nice place. And let me clear up a myth for you. Even though the English did take over Laos a while ago, they have pretty much forgotten about that. They all have Windows Vista and the Rosetta Stone courses. They all have learned English and they know how to speak in English. You don't have to communicate in their native language, which, although I enjoy it very much, is very complicated.
It is.
Do.
It involves a lot of consonants and just big like explosions of consonants, like.
And also
it's
in
confusing.
body movements. To say hello, it's more along the lines of ha!
If you don't do the body movements, no one's going to understand you. You could speak it just perfect, but if you do just the body movements and don't speak it perfect, they're not going to understand you.
Now see, I wasn't saying it perfect. I don't know how to speak it. I'm from the U.S. Yes.
Yes. That was close, but they
Yes.
probably wouldn't understand me.
Yes. Now, also, another thing. Southern Laos, right near the border, actually, there is a very interesting tourist site. I'm not going to say it's actually a tourist site. It's more of a house of a good friend of mine, but he seems to accept anybody who just wanders onto his premises. And he also actually has some very valuable information about Laos and the surrounding areas. He also has some native wisdom that some of the other people do not feel like they should tell you. He's a very open man, and you know, I mean, they're all great here. People up in the north, when you first get into the country, they're grand. You actually remind me of a person that I met there too. You just remind me of the people at the borders. It's kind of interesting, but it's a very nice place. Oh, and one thing you must completely 125.379% remember is that when you go to Laos,
The right percent.
and you're, you know, walking through, it's a very small place, but, you know, when you're walking through, there is a power plant that spits out a lot of black smoke, which obviously aggravates the entire environment around it. Strangely enough, the only thing around it seems to be possums. So if you walk in this general area, it's very close to right there. But if you walk in that general area, chances are you will be attacked by a possum.
A lot of black smoke comes off the power plant, and the possums thrive off it, but not in a good way, much like the movie I Am Legend. They have a lot of energy, but not good energy, evil energy.
Yes, it's kind of like people on drugs. Well, with a lot of energy, very stupid, and they don't know how to use it.
Now, to know if you're in the vicinity of a possum that's infected with there's too much black smoke in its system, you know, sulfur and pollutants, it's not good, it's not pretty, but they'll have some red little dots on their stomach, so you just got to be aware of that. If you make eye contact with one of those, 98.2% of the time you're dead.
And it would be a good idea to not look at the spots, because you usually break out in a rash all along your face, and you know, it could be deadly if you look at the spots for too long. So I would advise not looking at any possum's stomachs.
If you see a possum, the best thing to do is usually climb a tree. If you have time to burrow a hole and get underground, that would be great too. But possums live underground, so you don't want to intrude upon them. For sure you're dead.
And also another thing you do not want to do is bring a gun or any type of thing. If you shoot one possum, you'll get at least 15 other possums on you at once, and I lost a man that way.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Darius.
It was tragic. It was, you know, I'm gonna need a moment here. All right, I'm good. So yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty much Laos.
It's a great country otherwise.
It is.